I think part of what you think about even with the Destiny is that, even if they can get the $60, is there an audience that they're not reaching because they are charging that tariff to sort of get in? And it's like, is there going to be another game that's going to come out and be free to play? Like something like Titanfall. Imagine they said, hey, we're not going to charge you $60 up front. We're going to get all the money down the road. It's a longer term bet, right? And I think a lot of these companies are starting to think about that. It's like, yeah, we can make a couple $100 million.
If any company could do it, it would be Activision.
Right.
But I think that they look at that $60 and it's too much money to give up.
Right.
Yeah,
So sure they could.
Yeah.
They absolutely could.
What do you think eventually you think Destiny 10-year plan, at some point you would think they've got to have some kind of free-to-play.
You need the platform access as well, right?
Right.
I mean, the reason these big free-to-play models work on PC and on mobile is because you have
Everybody has access.
Everybody has access, right?
Right.
But now when you're talking about a smaller install base, even
But
just Xbox 360.
Destiny's current and next-gen consoles.
That's what I'm saying. Even
No,
with
but,
that,
but League of Legends, I think I just saw this 27 million daily active users, some crazy
it's
number like that.
unbelievable.
And I forgot the monthly, but it was in the 60s or 70s.
Yeah.
It's a big number.
and they're still putting on people
But
all the time.
that's a giant client, a massive download, a 38 gig or something client. But all it takes to play that game is a PC and an internet connection.
Yep.
And guess what? There's 1.5 billion people or 2.5 billion people with those. Yep. So sure, they can get 27 million. They have like a tiny fraction of the internet population, but it's a massive number. On a console, you can't do that because your addressable market is 10%.
But I also feel like you're going to
the size of
start to
internet.
see franchise, and I've heard Destiny's teased some of this. There's going to be a mobile component to it and things like that. So I think you're going to see games that may have a free-to-play offshoot or something on mobile that will then link back into the main game, and then you could still have an experience on mobile with it if you want to play the full high def.
If only
thing.
Nintendo would do that.
Well, I'm sure that they're open to pitches now. They're open to licensing. Why doesn't Webpush license a few Nintendo characters and put a proposal together?
Unless we're putting them on pajamas and not in games.
I think you should head to Kyoto and ask for a meeting with Mr. Iwata
On
to
my
pitch your new
way.
strategy.
On my way.
On your way, Factor. All right. Well, we're going to see. It's going to be interesting because it seems like the idea of the $60 box product is starting to go away. People are downloading more games. There's talk about, Microsoft's teasing that they're going to start to play with, different pricing points and whatnot for games. Because right now, it's, don't you think by the end of the year we're going to start to see games at different price points too?
The same game, or just different?
No, I'm
games
just saying,
at
like,
price points?
not everything's going to be $60. You're going to see $50 games. You're going to see $40 games. A
Yeah,
little bit
but
more
isn't
than
it Plants vs. Zombies?
Exactly, that's a little bit less.
Yeah,
Exactly,
yeah. I think that you
40, yeah.
should.
It's a tough proposition. How does what we used to call the A game, find a spot in this market now? Because developing the resources required are AAA resources, regardless of whether you're going A or AAA. So it's really cost us in that middle ground. The places where once upon a day we had games like Singularity. It would be really hard to make a Singularity right now.
Well, even a few years ago, I think you said it even around the time of GTA 4 about how they could have probably charged $80 or $90 for that game.
Totally.
And it's like there are lots of big games out there that can probably get even more than $60.
Yeah, I actually think that the model is the Walking Dead model, if anybody's going to try it, because that game, if you played it all, you paid $75. So it costs more than $60.
See if you can build the engine and the pipeline
And you get the
and
first
be
one
able
for
to
free.
develop.
Yeah, but that one, if you played it, you didn't play the first installment and stop because it
Right.
was fun and you wanted to play the next one.
Get you hooked.
So it was a smart
First
model.
hit is free.
I doubt everybody who bought the first one bought all 5, but they probably played 3. So it's kind of like you play this game until you've had enough.
Mm-hmm.
And I think what the publishers have done is they've dumbed down their AAA titles to 6-hour experiences because they can't afford to make a 40-hour game anymore except for GTA. And you just don't see, I guess Assassin's Creed is still probably a 20-hour game, but you don't see a lot of games longer than 10 hours anymore. I think I would much rather buy 5 3-hour, 4-hour installments for $15.
No, I think even like The Last of Us, that DLC came out, great DLC, 2-hour experience. That's $15. The question is, will people will they buy games like that?
Right.
I will. I like the idea of it coming from a standpoint of it's something I can go home over the weekend and play and then come back to the office.
There's a sense of accomplishment.
And-
You're done.
Well, and talk to my friends about it, just like we do with movies and television show. You know, if you're watching True Detective, it was so amazing to see everybody talk about that 4th episode, right? And you can have that sort of experience with these shorter games. Are they $15? Are they $10? I don't know, but I think that if you thought you saw the rise of the indie market, it's only just begun.
Right. That's a good point because a lot of the indies are cheaper. They're accessible and they're a lot of fun. So, all right. Well, we'll see. It's going to be interesting 2014. Thank you as always.
Pleasure.
Michael Pachter, Garnet Lee. We will see you guys next time for an all-new bonus round right here on GT.